Drunken Fist is a 3D beat-em-up parody which honestly ain't all that bad, despite first impressions. Sure, it does feature store-bought assets, forgettable royalty-free music, and questionable controller support, but the game design is surprisingly solid. The sluggish, slippery, and cumbersome controls ironically add a lot of depth to the movement and combat, requiring strategic foreplanning and fancy footwork. Much like any proper game in its genre, Drunken Fist presents a menagerie of mooks with various weapons and martial arts maneuvers, then demands you dissect their AI. You'll soon learn exactly what they're capable of and how to circumvent their assault. The guitar-swinging punks have some nasty combos that can put you down fast, but they have the lowest health, so it's beneficial to get in quick and bowl them right over. The businessmen favor a hit-and-run tactic, so it's best to sweep their legs and pummel them while they're writhing in the pavement. The gun-toting gangsters are languid but deadly with their pistols, so swooping and swerving around them ensures you won't be shot. The game starts to mix these enemy types together, testing your real-time tactical know-how and capacity for crowd control. There's also a real reason to use the vast array of moves at your disposal. Each of them requires a different amount of stamina to perform, and they all have their utilities. The uppercut deals the most damage, but has a rather fine hitbox and a huge windup. The leg sweep plants enemies instantly, but also consumes a lot of stamina and deals little damage. It's a proper risk-reward setup that incentivizes intelligent play. It's not perfect balance since the flying jump kick is almost always a safe opener, but it's good enough. All of this may sound like standard beat-em-up fare so far, but as alluded above, the drunken nature of the protagonist severely muddies your movement. You'll be stumbling everywhere trying to steer this hopeless fool toward his next foes, and that's kinda cool actually. The controls are crude and challenging, but deterministic, and with careful calculation, you'll soon master this boozed-up bum's bumbling. You'll find yourself expertly leaning into his sluggish steps, leveraging the momentum to aid in combat rather than hinder it. There's something poetic about emerging in elegant victory from such an incredibly inelegant scenario, and then peeing all over everyone before your bladder blows up. It ain't all sunshine and smoothies though. While the game features genuinely good combat design and movement mechanics, its pacing and side objectives are absolutely miserable. Put simply, there's 15 minutes of game design stretched needlessly to an hour-long odyssey. You'll fight the same foes one too many times in too many similar configurations, and the battles begin to feel more like a chore. This is especially true for the mandatory side objectives, which just force you to scour the environment for some polygonal blobs tucked away from view. This does nothing to illuminate the core design and mechanics, it's plainly for padding. And I know I do this a lot, but I'm gonna bring up Golden Axe again. Golden Axe is 15 minutes long, and it's one of the best titles in the beat-em-up genre. From moment one, it tests your dexterity and skill, featuring memorable set pieces and thoughtful enemy encounters. For that reason, it feels like a complete experience despite its short length. Drunken Fist is 4 times as long as Golden Axe, and it sure ain't 4 times as deep or varied. If this game were cut down severely in length and stayed focused on its core mechanics, I'd recommend it in a heartbeat for its unique perspective on brawlin'. But as it is, I wore completely out of patience the 50th time I saw a horde of red health bars floating on the horizon.